Right, I think we are live. A couple of tech issues for our first ever live watch along. But we are here, as I say, first live watch along, 4M1T. Big game tonight, big game tonight, especially after the disappointing result for Man United last night. But 4M1T going over Spurs and Liverpool live in London. And just watching over the coverage and stuff now. Danny has disappeared. I'm not just doing a live watch along with an empty chair. There he is. Big Danny Hamlet.
Good afternoon, good evening, fellas. How are we all doing?
Not too bad, mate. It'll be even better when Dale decides to join us. I told him 1:45 and he's fucking fashionably late, but there you go.
Is that not the 4M1T way?
Always. How many times do we do it? We do it every week, don't we? We were like, right, lads, 8 o'clock on the dot, Monday, podcast day, don't be late. And then by the time 20 past comes around, Josh is still eating dinner. Lee's trying to find some sort of key that's fell off his MacBook. Dale's like, my laptop's 20 years old, mate.
I need to charge my phone.
Fucking ridiculous. Have you seen, we'll get onto the content of the evening, mate. Have you seen the lineups?
I've not, mate, yet, no. I'll be honest, I've been a bit preoccupied. It's, for any FIFA players that are out there, it's probably the busiest time of year. It's team of the year season, so I've been doing nothing but ripping packs open and just basically being a bit of a nerd.
Good lad.
And you know what? I've been having a great time. But no, I'm going to the teams now. I guess should we have a quick readout?
Do you know what, mate? Let's see if I can just get the old screen share on. And in fact, you know what? I can't be bothered. I'm not techie enough. I'll do it next time. Yeah, go on, mate. It's really top quality tech here for M1T for the first ever watch one.
As the viewers just suddenly drop because he realised that us two are fucking incapable of doing anything.
I know, he was like, we've literally just dropped 5 because all of them were just like, well, I only started watching for the lineups.
Yeah, so we've got Spurs, we've got Lloris in net. What's looking like a back three of Roden, Dyer and Davies. And then Aurier and Doherty on wing-back duty with Ndombele and Højbjerg in the middle. And then Bergwijn, Heung-min-son supporting Harry Kane.
That's interesting, that. I mean, they were going to change from Wickham, obviously, weren't they? But back three, which I suspect is going to be very much a back five rather than a back three.
Yeah.
But the three
if I remember correctly, they did this when they went to Anfield and played very, very back five, even back seven at one point.
And you know what, mate? It worked out well, that.
The Mourinho way.
Tim Sherwood says. That was so funny. It's one of the funniest things I've ever seen, especially this season. I think they're going to be safe in this corner. Oh.
Yeah. And then Liverpool lineup is probably what you'd expect, really. Alisson in net, Trent, Matip, Henderson and Robertson. Midfield three of Thiago, Wijnaldum and Milner. And then Salah, Mane and Firmino up top.
Who's your favourite for the game? I know pretty much who my favourite is and how I think this is going to go, but I'll let you take the floor.
In our predictions, I put down a draw. I think I still will stay with that. I think Liverpool are going to come up with something to prove.
Yeah.
But Spurs, you don't know what Spurs are going to turn up, do you? They're either going to be unreal defensively and Kane's going to nick one, or Liverpool is just going to absolutely batter them.
I think this is Spurs' game to lose, and that's not biased United fan in me talking. Liverpool are in a bit of a funk. You said it yourself in the last podcast. They're in a bit of a funk, a hell of a funk. And I just don't know. I don't think I've ever. When was the last time you saw a team where it's not just one or two main players who are in poor form? It's all of them. And I think on top of that, you've got to add in the fact that their two best midfielders are now playing centre back. So in effect, they've lost 4 players rather than just a 2.
Yeah.
It's massively upset the balance of the team for me.
Yeah, absolutely. Just seen a couple of comments coming through. Yes, Collins, you mullet.
Fair play.
It is a mullet at the moment, mate.
Fair play, fair play. It looked slightly better when I had the mustache and everything going, but just couldn't do it. Couldn't do it anymore. Had to go.
I've had a baby shave today.
Oh, here he is. Mr. Dale Barber. Can we see you? There he is.
Mate, why is it not picking up on my headphones? What's that about?
And there goes the viewers again.
For everyone who's watching, this is Dale Barber. He's the most techie of the five of us.
Oh, this is a nightmare. Hang on.
Are you going to look like you're committing a crime all night, mate? There you go. Sit down. Dale, mate, we were just talking over the lineups and stuff. I don't know if you've just seen them, but before we get into that, if you haven't seen them, how are you feeling with the outcome of tonight? What are you expecting?
I don't know, could go as much as Liverpool have sort of struggled recently. They may surprise us, and I wouldn't be surprised if they did.
And that's Dale's two-piece for the whole evening. Cheers, Dale. See you later, mate.
Technology is not wasted on us, is it?
No, is it? Especially Dale. I feel sorry for him sometimes. You know what, though? I'll back what you just said there. It's a tricky one with Liverpool at the moment because the talent is obviously still there, like massively so. So much that Dale's decided to bloat himself. Oh, I tell you what, if it's not like cutting edge on the football, then it is just entertainment all the way through, isn't it?
Oh god, yeah. If you're not asked about the game, stick around because there's going to be cock-ups galore here tonight, guys.
Oh yeah. For the people that are just joining us, bear with. It's the first time we've done a live watch along. Our podcasts are usually run much smoother than this, so a couple of teething problems here and there, but we'll navigate our way through. Dale, so you were saying Liverpool. It wouldn't surprise you if they pulled out a good performance tonight. But what are you reckoning of Spurs, mate? If you can hear us.
I don't think you can hear. I'll take over the question. I think this is a massive chance for Spurs to prove themselves and get back into that top four shout.
Yeah.
They started the season so well, including an absolute battering of us, which was painful to watch. And then they just seem to have done Spurs.
Yeah.
Is that fair to say?
I think that's. I mean, if it's not in the dictionary by now, being Spursy, I don't know what we need to do to get it in there. I mean, I'm looking at the table now, and Spurs 18 games played, 33 points. So, I mean, they've got a couple of games in hand on West Ham. They've got a couple of games in hand on us. They've got a couple of games in hand on Leicester. If they win the 2 games in hand, it puts them right back into the mix. But, this is you'd think this is a must-win for them tonight.
Yeah.
If they want to even remotely be considered as part of that title charge. Liverpool, they have to win tonight.
I'm going to say it's a must-win for both. And that's why I think I'm swinging towards a draw, because it's going to be one of those ones where it's a must-win, but it's also you cannot lose this.
Well, that's an ideal result for us. That's what we want, is a draw. 100% is what we want, is a draw. After, I mean, let's call it what it was, an abysmal performance by United last night against Sheffield United.
Yeah, I don't wish to talk about it too much last night, but it was on us to go and make a game of that last night.
Yeah.
And we didn't. I mean, the referee didn't help us. The referee really didn't help us. The decisions, the key ones in the game, were not made correctly, but I'm not going to sit here and blame the ref. That we had enough in that team to go and win, and we didn't win. So
I know.
Definitely Sheffield United. They deserve it. They've worked hard. They've been due a bit of luck. They really have been due a bit of luck for a long time now. Shame it came against us.
It was bound to be us. It had to be us. It's just like written in the stars. But no, you're right. I'm not having this blaming the referee. Should they have had a goal disallowed? Yeah. Should we have had better luck as far as similar situations in the game are concerned, yeah, we should have, but we should be blowing Sheffield United apart with the team that we had out there last night. And it was, I don't know if it was just a mix of having an off night, bit of complacency. Sheffield United were just dogged. I think too much talk's been about United and not enough's been about Sheffield United, and they were outstanding last night.
I agree. I hate it when the supposed minnow team doesn't get the credit it deserves. Like when Burnley went and beat Fulham last week. Not Fulham, Liverpool, which is another point I want to make, where United's season's completely derailed with us losing against Sheffield, apparently. Yet Liverpool have just done exactly the same thing. Yes, Sheffield were bottom, but this impenetrable force, Liverpool, have been beaten. Like,
we've seen it all before, haven't we? It's big. I don't know if it's because people just like to focus on United. I don't know what it is, but literally what we just said as well with the podcast just gone, I don't think any realistic United fan was expecting us to win the title this season. I think we're amazed that we're even close. City are the team to beat, especially now that they're hitting the stride. And if you want to finish in the top two, you've got to finish above City and Liverpool still for me. Danny, I know you think differently. If you think Leicester might sneak in the back door, get top three.
Yeah,
I still think Liverpool are one of the teams to beat this season. If it's not going to be Liverpool, it's going to be City.
I think it's City's to lose at this point. I really do. And that's painful, but in the same respect, I'd rather it come back to Manchester than it stays in Liverpool.
Yeah, exactly. Dale, mate, have you seen the lineups?
I'm just looking at them now. Sorry, technical difficulties.
Mate, Apollo 13 had technical difficulties. You're having a fucking nightmare over there.
No, I think I'm sorted now.
Are we? We'll sync up properly, lads, when we got the game on. But I'm looking. Just put the team sheets on again now. Do just come off now?
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing.
Yeah,
I've not even put it on yet.
Yeah. hang on, Matip. Is Fabinho injured?
No, Fabinho's starting. I'm sure, isn't it?
No, Matip and Henderson at the back.
Matip and Henderson. Sorry, I was thinking of Henderson then. No, Matip and Henderson. Yeah. Would you say before though, the big thing with Liverpool recently has been the fact that Fabinho and Henderson have had to drop back into defence, so they've essentially lost 4 players because they've lost 2 big players for them in the midfield as well.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
I've got Klopp and Mourinho just coming out now.
Oh yeah, we're all at the same point. I think we're smashing, lads. Just got to say as well, live watch along, and Danny's just turned the game on now.
Mate, I don't need BT's pre-match. I've got our pre-match.
And that, folks, if that isn't a plug, I don't know what is. All right, score prediction.
I can tell I'm going to have issues already. This is started already. But.
If it gets too bad, mate, I'm just going to boot you out. You ain't coming back in. Score predictions, lads. What are you saying, Dale? We'll start with you, mate. What are you saying?
I'll go for a draw. I'll go for a 1-1.
Interesting. Danny?
I'm going hopeful for my fantasy football team when I'm in the draft. I need a 0-0 draw, and I need either that or Alisson needs to save a penalty for me. But I do think it'll be a draw, probably a 1-1.
Don't talk to me about fantasy. Bruno captain. What did he do last night? I've still got Kane and Son though. And I heard a very interesting stat before, which I never even clocked, which is, and I think I'm getting this right, I hope I'm not butchering it. Spurs have only conceded 19 goals this season in 18 Premier League games.
Christ almighty. So
Liverpool, on top of that, Liverpool are struggling to score at the moment, which sounds crazy because we've got 2 players near the top of the goal scoring charts. And I'm going to go for a 0-0 draw. I'm hoping it's not the case because otherwise it's going to be the worst first ever watch along that any football channel ever put on. Like, I'm hoping for a 4-4 draw or something, but I do think it's going to be a 0-0. Just kicked off.
Yeah, it just kicked off for me and all.
Just kicked off. Interesting. And the first thing to look out for is going to be what you said before, Danny. How's Tottenham's shape going to be? Because they put it on the graphic. They've gone with that back 3 as well, but I mean, that could change. It's very variable, I think. And Jose did make a comment before saying, you'll know what we're going to do after a couple of minutes.
Yeah, sit back.
Back the bus, yes.
Yeah.
That was supposed to be over Mourinho.
That's exactly what will happen. If they get the first goal, you know exactly how the rest of the game's going to go.
Yeah.
They'll get all 11 behind the ball and sit on it.
Well, they rely on that.
As long as they can,
they massively rely on that, don't they?
Mm.
Big challenge there.
We're flickering between about 18 to 23 viewers at the moment, which is class for a first ever watch along. Just reading some of the comments. Andy Fairclough's having a right good time. I'm not surprised.
Go on, Andy. Shout out to Andy. Good lad.
And shout out Yellow Card Podcast as well. Another podcast that we've been communicating with a lot on Twitter. Inviting us for Saturday. It could be an interesting one.
I know I'm gutted. Well, we'll use that as a plug for you're on 2 Up Top this Saturday, aren't you, Danny?
I am, yeah. I'm going to be live on YouTube with 2 Up Top, where we're going to have me and the boys going through the United Arsenal game, which I've been speaking to Gav today. It's going to be an interesting one, that's for sure. Always a classic game, United Arsenal, though. Like I'm genuinely looking forward to it. Sitting down with the lads, having a couple of beers, and just man, he's in.
Oh, that is a big chance. This is what I'm saying about confidence. Like a confident Mane, top of his game.
He scores that. He scores that.
And the way Spurs have set up the season, I just said then, like they've not conceded many goals. You've got to be taking opportunities like that.
Yeah,
I mean, you should be at least hitting the target there.
Yeah, make Lloris work.
Yeah.
Disappointing that. He knows. Did anyone hear a trumpet in the background then?
Yeah, I'm assuming that was the same kind of notification I just got.
Yeah, from a major sports radio station that we always talk about on the podcast. Oh, Son's through. Is this it? 1-0. 1-0. 2 minutes, 40 seconds gone. Honming's son.
Not going to lie, boys, I'm 10 seconds behind.
Why am I not surprised?
Do you know how to fix that? Do you know how to fix that, Dale? Come out and click back onto it, and then press live if you're on the app, and then it'll sort itself out.
Was he onside? That's the question.
It's
tight.
It's a good finish, though.
The second play looks on, but when he first receives the ball, his back foot looks off to me.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's off that, I think.
Yeah, they're going to rule that off, yeah, 100%. And do you know what? Like it makes you wonder, doesn't it? Should that initial ball have just gone to Kane?
Yeah.
Because that's where Son put it back to anyway.
Lee, not tight, he's well on. Spoken like a true Man United fan.
You loved it.
Yeah, I knew as soon as it was offside. I think we've got so used to these VAR decisions now. You can kind of tell after a few seconds.
Yeah.
But an early marker set.
It's interesting, isn't it? Like for Mane to go through clear, and it was a little bit of a mistake. Liverpool seems to be slow on the uptake there. They both seem quite nervous, don't they?
Yeah.
And it's a big get. You can't say it enough. I know it's cliche, but it's a real 6-pointer as far as the top of the table is concerned. They've both got to win this, and they know that, and you can tell already they know that because it's a bit frantic.
But this is how Spurs need to play. Spurs need to play, and Spurs need to attack them. Oh my god, my notifications are going mad.
Any chance you could turn your phone on silent, mate?
Worryingly, my phone's on silent. This is going through my MacBook.
Any chance you can turn your MacBook on silent, mate?
Ryan, stop texting me.
Sounds like you got a room service or something going.
Yeah, I wish I did.
Imagine. That'd be sweet as. Just having a look at some of the comments now.
Notifications going mad. Any chance you could...
KG, quick start from both teams, to be fair, but Spurs are the far more brighter here. Far more brighter.
Good. Well, how many times have we said it this season that Liverpool need to be attacked?
Yeah.
Do you know what? That's a phenomenal finish from Son. Such a shame it's been ruled out. That is a brilliant finish.
Do you think that's poor keeping? I think he should have done better there, Alisson, for me.
Yeah, he should. I mean, a lot of people ask questions about Alisson and how good he is as an actual goalkeeper. And I think he makes some good saves. And I think he makes... What I've noticed is he makes good saves look very ordinary. Which for me is a sign of a good goalkeeper. But he does have that tendency to get beat at his near post pretty often.
What you're saying is he's got the complete opposite of Shay Given syndrome. Do you remember him? Oh my god! He just, instead of catching a ball, he'd like sprawl across the bleeding net. Like, what are you doing? Save it normally.
Top keeper though.
If you ever watch the podcast, Shay, please forgive me. I'm a big fan. Son having a shot from like 75 yards out.
Yeah, I rate it. That's the keeper. Let him know you're there.
It's been an interesting opening already, and it's, you know, even from the first 7 minutes, I'm worried for Liverpool, because even as far as like the body language of some of the players, like they're very on edge, aren't they? Like a lot of these players have not been in this position before. The last 3 years have been easy. You think of the amount of success they've had, and now they've come through what is really their first proper period of, it's got to go through a bit of tough times, test of character. They've never had this before. They've had the one-off games like, you know, Watford last season and stuff, but they've never had like a prolonged period like this where they've just got to keep trying to battle to get themselves out of the rut.
I mean, other than the front three they've got, you look at, you've got Milner in midfield. How many games has he played this season? You've got Thiago, who's just recently come back from injury, I think. You've got Henderson playing at centre back, not his position. Matip, he's been out injured. You know, it's a bit of a mess. You know, in defence midfield at the minute for them. I mean, like I say, the front three's been fairly solid all season. You know, they've pretty much played every game. But other than that, there's sort of question marks in every other position at the moment. And like I say, recently you can see that in some of the performances and results they've had.
I was going to propose this on the next podcast, but I guess it's a good question to ask now. And people who are watching and want to leave a comment, feel free to get involved in this as well. Liverpool's season was supposedly derailed when Van Dijk got injured, but City sit top of the table who haven't had Aguero for as many games.
Well, they haven't had a striker at all, really.
No, they haven't.
Season, haven't they?
No, Jesus hasn't even been there. I don't know where we stand on this. Like, I obviously defending and scoring goals are completely different entities, but are Liverpool, without sounding horrible, making a meal of it?
I don't think Van Dijk is as important to Liverpool as he's being made out. Don't know what happened there. It looked like he went over, but he didn't look like he was looking for anything there. Headed back across the goal from Thiago, looks like.
Yeah.
I don't think he's as important as what he's being made out, but that's not to say he's not been vital to a lot of their success over the last 3 seasons. Like him and Alisson were the 2 key signings for them.
Yeah.
That pushed them on from being, you know, Champions League final nearly boys against Real Madrid to winning it the next year and then the Premier League the year after. I just think there's enough quality in that team for Van Dijk's injury to not be that big a deal. Like Fabinho, for me, I said it a couple of weeks ago on 2 Up Top. Shout out to the boys at 2 Up Top Football. Follow them on all social media. Danny will be on this Saturday for the Arsenal. Right. Make sure you watch that as well. But I said it to them a couple of weeks ago. I think Fabinho's probably their best centre back. The qualities he has is exactly what you look for in a centre back, particularly his ability to read the game. Like, he just reads the game so much better than. Tell me one player who reads a game in the Premier League better than Fabinho. I'll wait. And it hurts me to say that. I'm a United fan. I hate Liverpool.
The only one I'm going to compare to him is Ruben Diaz.
Yeah, he's had a massive impact at City. Massive impact at City.
Yeah,
And
he's been phenomenal. I saw a stat comparison of the two the other day, him and Van Dijk, and the numbers are the same, if not better, in Ruben Diaz's favour. So you can't underestimate how much he's done for City since he's arrived.
And to think they were calling it after his first few games, which I can't believe. This is football Twitter all over, isn't it? Like, first few games in the country, trying to get up to speed with the Premier League, and they're giving him a load of shite for it. He was being compared to a fridge. Everyone was like, oh, he's the Portuguese Harry Maguire and the rest of it, which is disrespectful to Harry Maguire because he's one of the best centre-backs in the Premier League. And if you don't agree, this might be dangerous to say, but remove yourself from our live stream right now. But how can you say he's that when look at what he's done since? Like, City have been unbelievable. And you can't take it away from John Stones either, because he's been phenomenal. To think he's come back the way that he has. He was done.
Yeah. John Stones has had like one of the best career resurgences we've seen for years. And fair play to him. Fair play to him. I thought he was brilliant at Everton. It's a shame that he did fall off the way he did, but good to see him back.
Yeah, I mean, he cost 50 million. He's for that price. You do expect probably the performances you see now, or most recently, the last few months.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, prior to that, it didn't happen. But he's like you said.
Wasn't it 45 million with a 5 million Cagoule add-on?
Get me off this. Get me off it.
Video is brilliant on Soccer AM with the Cagoule. Has he got a Cagoule? Who's watching? Comments. Who we got? Got Eddie watching. Trish. Shout out to Trish Ferry. Vitality fan. Do you think Lampard should have been sacked? I don't think they gave him a fair shot. We spoke about this in the last podcast, didn't we? Yeah, I think he had to go.
I still think it was too soon.
Yeah.
But he also did take the job too soon. Whether he's a Chelsea fan and like, I think me and you, Chris, we had this argument about Jesse Lingard the other day about him wanting to leave, and it's very hard to say no to your boy club. As I've just read that he's agreed a deal to go to West Ham for the rest of the season. Like, it's hard to say no to your boy club. It's hard to say no to going there, and it's hard to leave. So would he have been better off staying at Derby for a bit longer? I think yes. But when your club come knocking, I think it's very difficult to say no. We know what Chelsea are like, aren't we? Abramovich is awful.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, he sort of knew full well what the sort of managerial history Chelsea have had. Yeah. Even with, like say Mourinho, as successful as he was, second time round as well. And was it Conte before he went to Inter Milan? I think he won the league, won the FA Cup, and then he started off badly the next season, and that was it. He was soon gone. So it's just, for some reason, it's just sort of Roman's sort of culture there. He demands success every week, and if there's a few games that it doesn't happen, it's kind of like, right, we need a change, unfortunately. But
I don't know if he's a fan of hot drinks, but if he is, I don't think he's ever had a cup of that fucking loyalty. Do you know what I mean? He's not had a manager in for. I mean, what's the longest reign he's had as a manager? Jose, first time.
Yeah, probably.
Probably.
In his career. And even when you think back, like, I think the first manager who was there under Roman's reign was Ranieri.
Yeah.
And with the squad that he had at the time, did brilliantly. Like, they finished high up in the league. Like, they were pushing Champions League. I believe they got semi-final in Champions League that season. I might be making that up. But, they were pushing and straight out the door. See you later. And you think of the other managers you've had at the time, like, God, the amount of interim, man. He's got Gus Hiddink on speed dial. They just bring him back every few years.
Yeah.
Well, have you seen that comment there from Trish? 12 managers in 12 years.
Says everything, really, doesn't it?
Yeah, tells you all you need to know. Tells you all you need to know. This is pace of the game, getting back to the game. Pace of the game's dropped off a little bit now. Almost a Thiago pace, which has been another interesting thing that the media have been talking about this week. Is Thiago hindering Liverpool rather than helping them?
Oh, people on Merseyside are fuming right now.
I don't know. I honestly don't know what the answer is with that. I think he brings qualities to their midfield that they didn't have, clearly. I think he's one of the best in the world. I think he proved that with Bayern's run to the Champions League final last season.
Yep.
But I think Liverpool have got a system. I think that system's been very successful for them. And do I think he's of the same ilk as a Wijnaldum or a Henderson or a Fabinho and all the other players that they've had playing those positions? Oxlade-Chamberlain, who's, pretty much become comfortable with a centre of the park position now. He used to play a lot more advanced when he was at Arsenal earlier in his career. It's a difficult question, isn't it? It's difficult to answer.
Yeah, there's absolutely no doubt that the guy is class. But in this system, I don't know. I mean, I'm glad because don't get me wrong, I love Thiago. I think he's a fantastic footballer. I've watched him many, many years at Bayern Munich and Barcelona. But I was gutted when he joined the Scousers, so part of me is kind of glad it isn't working out for him.
Nice unbiased opinion on Four Manx One Toffee. Dale, how do you feel about him, mate? Because, he's been everywhere. For a long time, he's been a baller for so many years, but is he right for Liverpool? And what's the answer? Do they try and shoehorn him in like they are doing at the moment, or do they change the system and try and build the midfield around him?
Well, since he's come back in the squad, is that when Henderson's been playing centre back?
Yeah.
So if say Henderson, they get a centre back, fully fit, and Henderson then comes back into the midfield, would you see Thiago sort of play a slightly different role, and would that maybe suit Liverpool a bit better if he's a bit sort of further up the pitch? Maybe are they asking a bit of a sort of a different role from him at the moment, with Henderson being where he is at centre back?
Good point.
I do think Liverpool lose a lot with Henderson being at centre back. He's the engine that runs that whole team. And don't get me wrong, he's doing a fantastic job at centre back. That's not a knock on him, but they miss something with him not being in the middle of the park.
Yeah, he's just. Yeah. Henderson's such an interesting one because he just doesn't look like all that, does he?
No.
Everything he does, he just seems so simple, and you think, like, well, why does he get so much praise and attention for what he does? But I think just if anything else, he can rely on the fact that he has done what no other Liverpool player has done for 30 years. He's captained them and dragged them along at times to their first Premier League.
Yeah.
And you can't say that he's not got a big influence on the team, because there was a period last season where he was missing out the side and they missed him badly. But in terms of his individual qualities, I don't know. But we'll say this all the time about Liverpool's midfield. People question how good Wijnaldum is, and people question how good, Oxlade-Chamberlain is, and people question how good Shaqiri is. But they just seem to all work together when they're in that midfield, that sort of free in the system that they've got. to draw comparisons as well, it's a bit like, you know, when we talk about the 99 treble winning side for United, how many times do you hear, you know, rival fans turning around and going, Beckham was overrated, Giggsy was overrated, you know, Keane and Scholes were overrated. They can't all have been overrated. Either that or they work tremendously well together.
They weren't overrated. How can you be overrated? Won 3 trophies.
Exactly.
And not these poxy free trophies that these Scousers keep claiming. Like we won the Champions League and the Premier League in the same season, lads. We promoted them in the same season. We didn't bring out last year's trophies.
Firmino straight at the keeper. He's been dog as well this season. I don't think he had a great season at all.
I tell you, I think there's for me. There's probably only one player on Liverpool's side at the minute who's probably kept up their level from the last couple of seasons, and for me that would be Robertson at left back.
Yeah.
I mean, Salah's probably just hit a bit of a dip in form recently, but prior to the last 5-6 games, I think he had like 13 goals or something in 15 games. It was something ridiculous like that. But I know he's on a bit of a dip now. But yeah. But for me, I think there's only really Robertson who's sort of been doing it sort of week in, week out for him. Partly because he's not been injured really as well. I mean, that helps. But
yeah.
But I think we said it might have been on the group chat or the podcast. But you know, they've had that such high level for the last 2-3 years. You know, it's hard to keep going at that level. You know, there is going to be a bit of a dip.
Do you think as well, though, that Robertson's continued success has come at the fall of Trent? Because Trent has been nothing like himself this season.
Awful.
No, but then again, is that partly down to his age as well? Is he still learning the game as well?
Yeah, it could be.
You know. Yeah.
How much of it is what Carragher said though? I mean, did you see what Carragher said on Monday Night Football? I think it was Monday Night Football a few weeks ago about, you know, the free season theory and burnout, because he doesn't tend to rotate the team a lot. Klopp, he's just kind of like, how long can you continue to perform at the top level?
You can't. Like, the thing with United when we were at the top for so long, and with Arsenal. And even Chelsea during their little dominant spot, they rotated. We had squads big enough to rotate. We signed players in the summer. I think Klopp's transfers at the start were brilliant, but I think since he got this starting 11, he's not brought anyone in other than Thiago to come and settle in. And Thiago's the only one who's come in and he's been, like you said, a hindrance. The other one is Diogo Jota, who I think they're seriously missing.
Oh, yeah, 100%. He's been their best player for me this season when he's played.
Yeah, I absolutely agree.
And I think he's made a lot of the Liverpool fans realise what a front three would look like if he was in there instead of Firmino.
Oh, boys! I think I've just seen a flying pig out my bedroom window. Thiago's just been booked.
I don't believe you. That's not a booking there. That's not. He's booked someone else, and Thiago's just got really upset with him. He's like, "Oh, it's a bad challenge, that though." He's a lucky boy there, you know, because he was definitely he was a booking. It was no more than that. But if he times that any worse, he's literally put over on the player.
He's lucky that Højbjerg managed to jump over it. Really.
I had a conversation with someone online last week, though. Yeah, who was it? Was it Mane? When he was booked, that was a bit of a point of contention. Well, in the last game, wasn't it? When Mane was booked.
Yeah.
And people saying like, oh, you know, I think that's a red card and stuff. Behave. That's not a red card. It's not a red card at all. Like, we've got to appreciate it's still a contact sport. We can't just remove tackling altogether. No. And there is going to be a bit of follow through sometimes. It's like the Luke Shaw one with Burnley. I'm still not having that as a booking. What are you meant to do?
You can't do anything with that one.
You slide in on a wet pitch, yeah. What you're supposed to do to stop complete motion and just not move forward anymore. It's just a ridiculous thing to ask.
Stamp your studs into the ground, so it hurts you more.
There's got to be a bit of contact. If you do that to me and I've never played football against you, Danny, but I can just tell by looking at you, just one of those dirty, horrible twats. If you did that to me on a Sunday, on Merseybank playing fields or something like that, it's not an issue. I'm getting up and we're just cracking on with it.
Yeah,
it's not a booking.
So it's a nice physical challenge.
So you almost made that sound naughty.
I'm glad I'm glad that was picked up on.
That was a nice physical challenge. That's the sort of thing Glenn Hoddle comes out. You ever listen to Glenn Hoddle when he's commentating on BT?
Brilliant, isn't it?
He comes out with these old school things. You just think, oh, hey up, Glenn. You get me a bit hot under the collar here, mate. Well, I think
Spurs space here, aren't they? There's a lot of space for Spurs.
They're not pressing like you'd expect them to. The intensity's kind of dropped on it. Robertson there again. I'll back you on that, Dale. I do think Robertson is their best player this season, possibly.
Yeah. Yeah, for me, he's the only one that's kept up that level of performance. I mean, he's done God knows how many assists already this season. You know, he's chipped in with quite a few goals as well at left back. Like I say, it's difficult to maintain that, and you know, clearly the rest of the 11 has sort of struggled in some way. But
yeah, just having a look at some of the comments coming in. Zach Noble watching. Shout out to Zach. Zach says spicy. Like it. If you know, you know. If you are watching, this is our first ever live watch along of any game, so we appreciate you watching. If you could do us a massive favour, follow us on everything social media wise at WeAre4M1T, and whatever platform you're watching this on, share it, please. Get the word out, let everyone know who we are, what we're about. And we've picked an absolute blinder of a game to do our first ever live watch along, because it looks like that 0-0 prediction is going to come in.
I may have put the curse on that one.
We had an explosive first 5 minutes, and then ever since then, it's just become very touchy.
But it's what I expected. It's exactly what I expected.
Mourinho will be buzzing with this. This is exactly the sort of game he'd love, where, you know, they're not in the ascendancy, but like you said before, Dale, plenty of time on the ball. Just an opportunity somewhere to nick out a chance or two, grab a goal, shut up shot.
Do you think Klopp would be happy with it? Because they're in dire need of points at the moment. They've not won a game since December 19th.
That's crazy, isn't it? That's. I mean, picture the scene. You're in a title. You're meant to be in a title race, and it's kind of slipping away a little bit from Liverpool. I mean, they've still got the quality to get back into it. Of course, you haven't. It's a strange old season, but in the rut that Liverpool are in, do you take a draw here and just build on it?
I think I would. I think if I was a Liverpool fan, a point away at Spurs, the way you're playing at the moment, I think is a good result. It's interesting.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'd agree. You know, if you as well, if you think about what Klopp said the other week, where you know his aim was to get in the Champions League again for next season. Spurs, you know, are going to be one of those teams that's going to be in and around those sort of positions as well. Come the end of the season, do you take getting a point away from home for a team that's going to be sort of there or thereabouts with you? I think you probably would.
Yeah.
The only issue is you look at the Premier League. So City and Liverpool are both on 19 games now, and Liverpool are 7 points behind. Now they get a point here, they close the gap to 6, but then City have got a game in hand. City win that. 9 points is a. I know we've got half the season to go, but 9 points with the way City are playing at the moment is a big ask. It's a huge ask.
Yeah.
These are the kind of games that Liverpool have been winning over the past 2-3 seasons.
Yeah, they've not struggled really, have they?
Their head-to-head record against the top 6 teams over the past 2-3 seasons, who's beat them? City, a couple of seasons ago.
Yeah.
I can't think of anyone else. Can't think of anyone else. I think they've pretty much beaten everyone. I think we've maybe nabbed a point off them here or there.
We've got to go a while back, apart from the FA Cup, to find a win for us against them when Rashford sent Trent back into the academy.
Had to get it in there, didn't you?
Yeah, obviously.
That clip, you know, that tweet that's going around at the moment where it's just like, think of a video that just lives in your head rent-free all day long. Like, that spends an awful lot of time going around in my head, that
little Ronaldo chop,
and whoa, there Trent goes. See you later, mate.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
Well, Trent on the ball now. I mean, he's not looked too bad tonight for me, you know, to be fair. When he's had the ball, he seems to be doing a lot more of what we expect of him, which is...
You know what? I thought against us in the FA Cup, I thought he was brilliant.
He had a good game against us. I think he probably was Liverpool's best player. People say Salah because of the goals, but...
Yeah, I thought he was outstanding against us. And obviously the problem is his scoring record. And since Jota's come in, it's proved it even more that they need someone to score. But that's the territory, isn't it? If you play striker and you don't score, you're going to get criticised. Yeah, when he does good work, I'm still sat here criticising him because he didn't score.
It's just Mane and Salah's drop-off in form has just exacerbated the issue a bit more. And you expect him to chip in, he's just not going to do it.
Well, that's it. There's always been the sort of that backup, haven't there? You know, if one of them front three has kind of gone off for a couple of games, kind of like the other two have sort of picked it up. And plus, you know, usually the last couple of seasons they have been getting goals from pretty much any position in the team anyway.
Yeah.
But it's just all out. The whole of that front three at the moment is just seriously, whatever it is, lacking confidence. Or they're just, I think it was somewhat ridiculous about the conversion rate, goals to shots was like 2-3% over the last like 6 or 7 games.
Christ.
It's like they've been having the opportunities, just for whatever reason, like say lack of confidence. It's just not happened for them. But then again, there's not really much coming from elsewhere in the team, the midfield.
No. And again, that comes with Henderson playing deeper, Thiago just not fitting. You know, players playing out of position. Players that are in the team that have been out injured, etc. It's a mixture of things, isn't it? Oh no! What a shame, eh?
We try. Listen. I think we do really well as a pot. You've got to appreciate 4 Manx, 1 Toffee. The clue is in the name. United fans, 4 United fans, and 1 Evertonian. It is hard where Liverpool are concerned. It really is. I think we do a good job of remaining very mellow about the situation.
I think we do great, boys. Just every so often, there's just going a little sliding every now and then.
Well, to be fair, I think I might have mentioned Spurs about 4 times so far. It's all been Liverpool.
Love it. It's just not been a great. I mean, let's call a spade a spade. It's not been a great game of football so far.
No.
Half chances here and there, but nothing stand out for either side apart from those first 5 minutes. And now Kane's looking. I mean, what's wrong with Kane now?
I mean, if Spurs lose Kane, that is massive.
I mean, that physio he's with him. What's his name out of Mortal Kombat? Sub-Zero.
I don't know, mate. I was a Tekken guy. I was a Tekken kid. I wasn't a Mortal Kombat kid.
What a reference! Thank you very much. Tekken 3, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 1 actually, wasn't it?
Yeah, 1, yeah.
If you don't know, now you know. Arcade mode, chicken.
What about the fucking volleyball, mate?
Oh, stop it.
Where you
Great
got gone,
memory.
the little dinosaur.
Great memories. Tekken 3. What a game. Might be one of my favourite games of all time, that. On PS1 especially. That or Hogs of War.
Great tackle.
Yeah, it was that.
Love it, we're reminiscent of games and Dale's actually paying attention. That is a great tackle. Why am I behind? I was ahead of you at one point. How has this happened?
What minutes are you on now? I'm on 35, 36, 37.
I don't know. It's gone fuzzy in the bottom left, so I can't. It's 36 round about that time.
Yeah, I've just hit 36 minutes dead on.
I'm well behind you.
36.15. That's what I'm on.
Right, so Dale's in front, and then I'm just a couple of seconds behind him.
I'm going to refresh my feed here now, so I'm back on with where you are. Can't be having this where you're 15 seconds ahead of me. It'll just do my head in the entire.
It's like when Dale was like, "It was a great tackle." I was like, "Eh."
Hey.
Well, I thought because there was a good tackle at the other end of the pitch. I thought that's what you meant.
Mate, I'm still on the Burnley game from 2 weeks ago.
Oh, I love it. Ooh. I was a piss funny podcast out a couple of weeks ago when we were talking about that. Oh, we've got a bit of volume on mine now. That'll be feeding back. There we go. Turn that back on mute. Right, 37 minutes I'm on now.
Yeah, I've just hit 37 now.
Kano's just walloped it a goal.
Yeah, I'm about 10 seconds in front.
Great goalkeeping, that Hugo.
Yeah.
Love seeing a keeper come out and claiming it. Even if Hugo don't even get me started on David De Gea. I'm saving that for the podcast.
Is it? Right, I won't ask then. If we're saving it for the podcast, I won't ask. All I'll say is I think Henderson deserves his opportunity now.
I'm pretty certain, judging by the way that Ryan spelt, that is my brother. 1-0 Will Grigg. He is on fire. Still.
Your defence is terrified.
No, we can touch briefly on it now because there's obviously people going to be watching now and then listening later. Henderson has to get his chance now for me.
Yeah.
The 2 goals last night, awful. Absolutely awful.
I'm not going to blame him too much for the second one. I mean, because you could pick one of 11 players.
I'm going to say you could blame about 6 of them. He's definitely one of them that you can blame. Because that pass out to left back, when he clearly knew that Alex Telles was not going to be there, and then just kind of stood up and went, eh.
He panicked.
Yeah. If you panic it, clear it. Get it gone.
Ooh, 10.
Get it absolutely gone. Yeah. But the first one, yes, it was a foul, but you've got to be stronger.
I mean, it's one of them. I think he hasn't been. He's been better this season.
Yeah,
he's not. Yeah. He's still not been. At the heights he was a few seasons back. But I do feel he has been better this season, and whether that's because Henderson's come in now and is like a solid, fighting for number one with him, and it's he has upped his game a little bit, but. I'm with you, lads. I do think Henderson does deserve a bit of a shot now. A run of games possibly. Just to basically say to De Gea, look, as good as you have been in the past, it's sort of one mistake kind of too many.
Well, I mean, look at the shot in the arm it's given Luke Shaw, having competition from Alex Telles.
Yeah.
I mean, Luke Shaw has been outstanding this season.
He's been outstanding.
Yeah. You could argue. I mean, goalkeeper is a problem. I can't believe we're saying that because we've got David De Gea and Dean Henderson. Goalkeeper should not be a problem position for us, but it is.
Well, look at my brother's comment there, and that tells you all you need to know what he thinks about Dean Henderson.
Fair play. Who else have we got watching? We got Mary Shard. Mary, nice to see you on the feed. Thank you for sharing. That is a lovely turn, that.
Is that Berg? Top baller.
Getting a bit nitty-gritty now. Liverpool, you've started coming back into it a little bit more now, though, Liverpool.
The nitty-gritty suits Spurs, I think.
Yeah, 100%. It's Mourinho way.
Yeah. There's something is seriously off with this Liverpool forward line, though, isn't it? That, even just that, then with Mane getting it stuck underneath his feet. He turns and bangs that last season before.
Couldn't hit a fucking barn door over Banjo, any of the front three at the moment. And again, sounds mental, because Mo Salah is the leading scorer in the Premier League this season.
I know.
That's how good he is. That's how capable he is.
It is mad. It's absolutely mental to think that Mo Salah, of all people, is top scorer and struggling.
And it just goes to show, like, the system's it's failing on him. Especially when you consider, like, we've got good attacking options, but top of the Premier League at the moment, the best team in the Premier League, City, and they have no striker. But it just seems to be, the difference with City is they seem to just be chipping in from everywhere. Phil Foden.
I mean, they're keeping clean sheets.
Well, yeah, that helps. But Phil Foden as well is a ridiculous football player. Great save from Lloris. Well worked that from Liverpool. Mane straight at the keeper should be doing better.
You do expect better. Yeah, Foden's been outstanding.
And
Don't know. Yeah, I was going to bring up Gundogan at some point.
Don't get me started on Gundogan. I mean, what a footballer that guy is.
Yeah, he has been. I watched a fair bit of him when he was at Dortmund, and since he come to City, I have been a bit underwhelmed by him. But this season, he's really started to show exactly what he's all about.
Do you not think he's been Guardiola'd? That's what I've started calling it. He gets such a good football player, and for some reason, like Pep, he just must have the most ridiculous standards of what he expects from his football players. Because I don't think Gundogan has played an awful lot of football ever since been at City, and that sounds.
He's had injuries as well.
Well, yeah, that obviously that comes into the factors. Of course, it does, but he just seems like one of them where he's not been utilised as much in previous seasons as he is now, and now finally we're starting to see the best of him.
Yeah.
We're starting to see basically why City bought him. Because when he was in the Bundesliga, he was unplayable at times.
He was absolutely unplayable. Absolutely.
Same as Foden. Like Foden, you wonder sometimes in the past, like, is Pep just going to play him instead of just putting him on here and there and a little substitute appearances and maybe a cup game? And now he's become a player who you can't drop him.
Yeah.
It's impossible to drop him.
He's their leading scorer this season.
Madness, that, isn't it? How old is he? 20 years old?
Something like that, yeah. 20-year-old attacking midfielder. He's their leading scorer.
Did you see that? Did you see that stat of his? He's played in 100 games for City, and they've won 85 when he's played.
Christ Almighty!
Mad.
I heard that the other day, and that I was listening to it on the radio. I heard it, and they were saying like someone called in and said like, yeah, but it's City. That could be anyone. That come on,
it's not though, is it? Like. Because City didn't win the league last season. Liverpool did.
Exactly. Maybe he's just a very good footballer. Like maybe that's what it is. Yeah. Take your bias out of the equation.
No doubt about it. You can hate City, you can love them, but you can't do anything but appreciate Phil Foden as a footballer. The guy is going to lead England at some point. Like for me, it should be one of the first names on that team sheet for summer.
100%. And this is a question that's on everyone's lips at the moment, where England are concerned because the Euros are getting closer, and our team is still very much undecided. And we've got a poor manager in Gareth Southgate. Let's face it. But you've got to build a team around Foden. You have to.
I think we've got 3 or 4 very good attacking midfielders that can all do a very similar job. Foden, Grealish, Maddison. Hell, even from Mason Mount in there for argument's sake. He's only realistically going to take 2 of them because we've still got Sancho, Sterling, Rashford, Kane. Like, you can't play all of that attacking talent. So it begs the question: which one goes?
For me, Kane's undroppable.
Yep.
I think Foden's undroppable. And as far as attacking options goes, the other undroppable player for me is Grealish.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Grealish has got to play. And I think you can accommodate those 3. Obviously, Kane up top, you play Grealish off the left. And Foden, for me, just sits behind the front 3. And if Gareth Southgate wants to be cautious like he loves being, all right, fair enough. But don't be playing 5 at the back and sacrificing a player from the absolute plethora of attacking prowess we've got at the moment as far as England are concerned. Don't sacrifice one of those players by playing 5 at the back. If you want to be cautious, stick 2 holding midfielders in there. A bit like United with McTominay and Fred. Games you play McTominay and Fred, and then we've got Bruno just doing his thing. In that example, Foden is Bruno. Like, let him do his thing. Stick 2 holding midfielders in there. Positive front 3. I mean, who would you play off the right? Because that's the big question, isn't it? It's going to be Rashford or Sancho.
For me, probably Sancho. I don't like Rashford on the right. I don't like Rashford when he goes on the right for United. But
the only reason I don't say Sterling as well is because I would class Sterling as better off the left.
Yeah, but out of the 3 of them, I'd probably rather have Sterling on the right.
I wouldn't disagree with you.
I was going to say, would you have Sancho given his form currently?
Yeah, good question.
The honest answer is no.
What was it the other week? His first goal
this season.
His first goal of the season. However many games they've played, but
yeah,
at this moment, I'd probably I wouldn't like Rashford on the right, but it'd probably be more of the sensible option at the minute. But
he's a threat. There's no doubt about it.
Is Rashford better as an impact player, though? I mean, if you have Kane up top, you've got Grealish on the left, you've got Sterling on the right, and then, you get to 65, 70 minutes. Tight game.
I wouldn't play Grealish on the left either. I'd put Sterling there. But
Dale being spicy.
Big chance. Yeah. And Firmino scores a tap-in.
Firmino, 1 minute before half-time. That is a big goal, that. Joe Mourinho is absolutely fuming.
Looked sloppy, that, from what I saw of it.
Let's have a look at this. Oh, that's tight, but it's onside, that.
It's on, yeah. You can see Davis's back foot is probably the one that keeps him on.
That's
onside.
Clue that Firmino's there.
You've got to track him running through the middle there. I mean, who do you blame out of Davis and Dyer there? Because Dyer should be far more aware that Firmino's there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good control by Mane, that off the chest.
Yeah.
I think Lloris has probably got to potentially come out for that as well.
He kind of does half-hearted, doesn't he, really? Lloris there, he's only an hour in whether to do it.
Yeah.
At that split second, it's too late.
Look at the relief on Klopp's face. That's a big goal, that.
It is a good question that Connor's just asked in the comments before we take the half-time break. In a bit of debate at work over Greenwood and Foden, who would you prefer at United? For me, controversially, it's not even a question for me, Phil Foden.
No. How can you debate it? Listen, Mason Greenwood is a massive talent. Massive, massive talent. In terms of age, not to make excuses, obviously, but Greenwood's a couple of years younger than Foden as well, which has got to be considered as a factor. I think in a couple of seasons, at the rate that he's progressing, Greenwood is going to be a top-class player, but Foden is 20, 21, and he is the best player for one of the Where would you rate City in Europe right now?
I was just about to say
Europe?
that Foden at the moment is probably the best player in the English Premier League.
100%. If it's not Foden, I mean, when you speak of the best players in the Premier League at the moment, you've obviously got Bruno. We're obviously going to say Bruno just because of the impact he's had at United. Phil Foden's got to be that. Who else is there?
Son was there, but has tailed off.
Yeah.
No one from the Liverpool team, other than maybe Fabinho.
Yeah, Fabinho's been... I mean, imagine where they'd be without him this season.
Yeah,
that would be a huge loss for Liverpool. I think Foden, City are one of the top 3 best clubs in the world at the moment on current form, and Foden is their standout player. And he's, at his age, it is scary to think what he is going to be capable of when he hits his peak, 25, 26, 27.
Scary. And
he just had to fucking be born in Stockport and play for City. Fuck off.
And on that note, boys, I'm going to have to go and refill my beverage. I'm going to let you two crack on with the halftime.
Yes, let's crack on, Babs. Halftime, 1-0. Bit of a cagey game. First 5 minutes was, I've said it a couple of times, explosive. Got the offside goal. Liverpool going up the other end and having a big chance with Mane, which he hit straight at the keeper. Ever since then, a bit tetchy. Like, you can tell both teams are thinking we need the win here. Like, it's essential we pick up 3 points, and absolutely nothing until 30 seconds before the half ends, mate.
Yeah, I mean, there's not really been too many sort of clear-cut opportunities, have they? I mean, you had the Son offside goal there. That. The way the game's going, that potentially could be it. That could be the winner.
I think in terms of entertainment a game, I think a Liverpool goal now is perfect, because I think if Spurs score first, they base it goes without saying they base their whole approach around that. So for Liverpool to score now, just before half time, fresh in the mind, they've got to push. Now, it's not even a game that Spurs could sacrifice, because they're so far behind in terms of the title race already. They'll be chasing top 4. They know they need to get back in the Champions League, and that's where they'll want to be under Jose Mourinho. That's where they'll be expecting to be with the players that they've got as well. Yeah. They've got to push out. They've got to push on and win this game. They've got to find a way. It's going to open it up now, I think.
Well, exactly. Yeah, I mean, Mourinho, they'll be like, right, come on, we need to obviously push on, try and get an equaliser, but that, could now play into Liverpool's hands, sort of soak up a bit of the pressure, and then, I don't know, a slick counter-attack maybe, catch him on the break, set it up for a second possibly, but Tottenham have got to they've got to do something. Like I said, they did seem to have a lot of space in the game there, but like I say, the clear-cut opportunities just were a bit few and far between.
Yeah.
So something's got to change there.
Reckon we'll see any changes at half time?
Maybe not changes, but maybe a change of system, possibly. I don't know. Maybe on Tottenham. I think Liverpool have probably just carry on as they are in the second half, but Mourinho might switch it up slightly. They're playing 3 at the back at the minute, aren't they? I think they are. May possibly change that up, but you never know with Mourinho. He might fling 3 off at half time.
It's difficult, isn't it? Because who do you sacrifice? I mean, if he was going to sacrifice anyone out of the back 3, I would have thought it would be Joe Rodon. I don't think he'd haul Dyer off. I think Dyer's pretty much a shoe-in for him at the moment. It's probably one of the first names for Jose on the team sheet. But the options off the bench, I mean, interestingly, before the game even started, there was rumours that Gareth Bale would be starting tonight, that he was considering using Bale as a left wing-back. I don't know if that's an option that he'd potentially explore. He looked live. I mean, I know it's Wickham, but he looked lively against Wickham. Bale. Some of the finishing was a bit woeful, but he was one of Spurs' best players, I thought.
I say most of the times he's played, it's been in the cup games, hasn't it? It's kind of been against sort of lesser opposition. You kind of ask the question if he's still, a quality player, but will he sort of give him that bit more of a cutting edge going forward?
Yeah.
He's not done it so far this season, let's put it that way. Really.
No.
So it's like, would he really be the option to go to right now?
Is he even capable of it anymore?
I sort of question, is his head sort of still in the game? Sort of now, with what happened at Madrid and, the years he pretty much just sat on the bench, not really playing any football. It's like, has he lost a bit of interest in it?
Yeah. It's an interesting one with Bale. Like, he's got, and we've seen it over the years, he's just got so much talent, but at the age that he's at, it was always going to be a little bit of a risk. I thought he would have worked out a lot better for Spurs. I thought he would have offered a bit more than he has. But I'm not willing yet, though. I mean, it's a season-long loan. We're halfway for the season. I'm not willing to sit here and say it's been a failure. I think it's a bit unfair to say it's been a failed move. But, I mean, showing highlights of the goal area, I mean, that's a great finish by Son, that. But that pass, I mean, he's noticed Son there, but I think that ball could have gone to Kane before me. I think if you play that ball to Kane first time, he feeds Son in with that same ball, and it's 1-0. No question in my mind. Bit unnecessary to play it straight forward to Son straight away.
It's 1-0, it's 5 minutes inside, it's a completely different game straight away. Straight off the bat.
It's a fucking boring game.
Yeah, well,
it's not been that entertaining anyway. Like you say, it's just been half. No one's really had like a sniff on goal and stuff. Rio Ferdinand, what a suave gentleman. He's got. I've never seen a man look so good with a turtleneck jumper on and a blazer. It's one or the other. I've never seen both. I agree with you. I think Liverpool are going to stay unchanged. For Klopp at the moment, you saw how relieved he was when that goal went in. I just think he's going to be of the mind of, if it's not broke at the moment, I'm not even going to try and attempt to fix it.
Yeah.
And for Firmino to score, of all players as well, if he was going to make a change though, Salah's been poor this half for me.
Yeah, I'd agree with you there. Yeah, it's seems to be the way his form's been going recently, other than obviously the FA Cup game the other week. But
he seems a bit disjointed.
Yeah, but again, I don't think Klopp will change it. And it's not for it's not in Liverpool's nature to sort of invite the pressure on as well. Like Tottenham are going to have to come out and put a bit more pressure on, but I can't see Liverpool sort of sitting there soaking it up. Being properly defensive. I think they'll just carry on trying to play the normal game, and possibly get them on the counter or something. But
which is Spurs' strength, but Spurs have got to come forward and push through now. Spurs' only sniffs, interestingly, from watching the game and from watching the highlights again here, their only sniffs, his chances this half, have been those balls over the top for Son to run onto. And I think what Mourinho's for is our best chance. At 0-0, we're all right, and our best chance is bit of a haphazard back four in terms of personnel, in terms of form. Son's quick. I mean, is there many defenders that can deal with Son in a one-to-one situation? Speed.
I was going to say that they're not blessed with pace at the back there with Henderson and Matip at Liverpool. So they say in that offside goal, Son easily got past there, but that might be an area they try and exploit a bit more, possibly. But
they've just got to be more intelligent about it for me, because every single time they've got him in, all right, he's had a sniff here and there, but it's been balls over the top. I think if Son can keep doing what he's doing and just stay on the shoulder of the back two centre backs, and they can be a little bit more intelligent in centre of the park rather than just lumping that ball over the top, I think they'll have a lot more fortune in terms of getting Son involved in the game in the final third.
Well, that's it, because Trent and Robertson, they're going to be further up the field, because they like to be involved in the attacking side of things as well. So it is really, like you say, if he could sit himself sort of on the shoulder of those two centre backs, and like I say, if they're a bit more intelligent with how they play those balls up top, could be a way in. We shall see.
Just saying then, Danny, like any changes you reckon at half time? Me and Dale were just saying we think Liverpool are going to stay the same. If it's not broke, don't fix it. Spurs rather though. Something's got to be mixed up, I think, in terms of the way they're approaching.
They need more going forward. I'm just going to check who's on the bench now. There's three at the back. Yes, they needed to protect the defence and the goalkeeper, but it's not worked for them.
No.
Could they bring on Lucas for a bit of pace? I just caught you talking about Henderson and Matip there.
Mm-hmm.
I think Lucas could be someone that could get in and behind. The forgotten man, Gareth Bale. Is this his time to jump back into the spotlight? Who knows? I mean, he's had a very, very strange season. He's not even had a season, has he? Let's be honest.
We said then, I heard an interesting rumour before the game, which was that Mourinho was considering using Bale as a left wing back.
Ooh, like the early days.
A la Southampton.
Yeah, and when he played for Spurs at first. And
when he first went to Spurs.
40 games without a win whenever he played.
That was a bad run. Do you remember that? That was awful.
Yeah, I don't know. There's not a lot on the bench that can really change it for him.
I'm having a look at the two lineups now. I've got them here in front of me. I mean, Spurs. Lamela, there's no point even talking about him. He's not going to do anything.
No.
And I think his days are numbered at Spurs, to be honest. Lucas, a bit poor in form, Lucas, for me, at the moment. He's looked a bit out of sorts. The only decent game I've seen him have was Marine in the FA Cup. And if you're not having a decent game against Marine, but then again, Dele Alli had a great game against Marine and everyone wouldn't shut the fuck up about it for 2 weeks. Vinicius, he's an interesting option. Whether he's got the class to bury a chance in a game like this where they're going to be few and far between, I don't know.
Also had a great game against Marine.
Had an outstanding game against Marine. Might have had the best game that anyone's ever had in the history of our game against Marine.
The two substitutions here, Aurier coming off for Winks and Lamella coming on for Kane.
Oh,
that's got to be that injury.
Yeah, Kane's obviously picked up a knock. That's a big call. That
I wouldn't have brought Lamella on. If you're bringing Kane off, like Vinicius or Bale would have been the one for me.
Yeah.
And Matip coming off for Liverpool as well.
Oh, they have done a change. Who's coming on?
Nathaniel Phillips.
I can't, unless Matip's picked up a knock, I can't think of what.
Yeah. He has been out a while though, hasn't
he? He has, yeah. Again, he hasn't kick-started, has he?
No. That's interesting. That's Aurier. The jury's out on Winks for me. I'm just not. I'm not 100% sold on him. Like, there's some games where I see him and I think he looks like a tidy little player, And then there's others where he just goes missing. I don't really see what he offers in the centre of the park for Spurs. I really don't.
I think he's a very boring James Ward-Prowse.
So,
I just think he looked good in a poor team.
Yeah.
they're in already, yeah. Firmino, Salah, got to pull the trigger. Oh, Salah, that's a poor miss. How has he missed that?
Oh, I'm behind. I don't know where I'm at.
I saw that about 5 seconds ago, so somehow I'm now ahead of you two.
Yeah, I mean, they were still getting the subs ready when I was watching.
I'm on. Where are you, Danny? I'm on 46, 47, 48.
I have just hit 46 minutes.
Right, I'm 5 seconds behind you, so that's fine. Dale, mate, just refresh the feed. You should go pretty much live to where we are, mate.
I don't know if it's this iPad or the app or whatever, but shite.
Oh,
I've just seen the chance, Paul.
That's. I mean, how much do you want us to tell you here, Dale?
What? I might see it in about an hour.
Liverpool 2, Tottenham Hotspur 0.
And it was a
Trent
great finish.
Alexander-Arnold.
It was a great finish by Trent.
Yeah.
And that is a real big moment in this game now, because we said before our time, Dale, going over the half, Spurs would have loved it at 0-0. At 1-0 down, they've got to counter attack. Now they've really got to go for it.
I think that's really poor goalkeeping.
Yeah, he could have done better there.
You've got to tip it round for a corner. You can't put it back out wide.
It almost looks like the path of the ball has surprised him. I think he thought he was going to go wider than it did, and he's kind of like readjusted his hands at the last moment.
Yeah, he went down with a weird hand angle. Poor. Well, that is, as far as I'm concerned, that's going to be game, set, match right there.
Yeah, unless Spurs grab a goal in the next 10 minutes, it's not going to go any other way. And to be honest with you, do I think Spurs pushing forward in a game like this now when they've got to chase it is a bad thing for them? Yeah, 100%.
Oh, yeah.
Look at Spurs' centre-backs. Right. Mane and Salah running at them is just a recipe for absolute disaster.
Yeah.
Eric Dyer doesn't exactly fill you with confidence, does he, against even an out-of-form Salah and Mane just doesn't fill you with confidence.
At all. Oh,
No,
what a hit! Jeez!
Oh, my goodness, Højbjerg! What a strike that is!
What was I just saying? Game, set, match. I say game on.
Lads, I'll just say, so yeah, it's still 1-0 on my screen. I'll catch up. No, I'll catch up.
No, Dale, press F5 and refresh it, mate. Come out and then come back in.
Mate, I'm on the iPad. I don't have an F5 here.
that is an absolute phenomenal strike.
You could not have hit that any better.
Shout out Banksy, favourite player at Spurs at the moment. Højbjerg, otherwise known as Bread, because he mops everything up.
Oh.
Chris, what was he saying at half time? That Firmino's goal could be it. That could be the game, just 1-0. Within 5 minutes of the second half.
Dale was like, I think this could end as a 1-0, this one.
I haven't got a fucking clue.
Well, we said, didn't we, boys? We said we wanted an entertaining game. I cursed it before. It looked like we cursed it before with a 0-0 prediction. But that goal before our time is the best thing that could have happened.
Yeah. It's got them both waking up.
Phillips is a proper scouser, been on the pitch for 4 minutes and he's stolen a yellow card there. Apologies, Andy. If you're still watching, Andy Fairclough, apologies.
No apologies, Andy.
That was a poor dig at Scousers, that, mate. That is a fantastic strike by Højbjerg. That almost reminds, because he sliced it, it's worked in his favour. It almost reminds me of Scholes' goal against Barcelona.
You could say it's sliced bread.
That's brilliant.
Oh,
We call him bread because he mops everything up. That is outstanding, that.
Brilliant, that, isn't it? I said it on the podcast the other day, don't know how good he's been. He's been outstanding this season.
I think he's been Spurs' most unheralded player. I don't know about best, but he's definitely been their most unheralded player because he just does the shit that no one else wants to do.
Shout out to the boys there, 2 up top. What a slappage. That's what we called up north, an absolute thunder cunt.
It's absolute toe-poking slice that into the side. I tell you, it's worked in his favour because Alisson would have had that covered otherwise.
No, he's meant every single bit of that. He's absolutely meant to cut off.
This is a Dombele all over again, this. And Dombele meant that. No, he didn't.
Dombele did meal it, and he did mean that as well. You can slice a ball perfectly just like that. He's done brilliant with that one.
Listen, I hear what you're saying, and I respect your opinion. Are you full of shit? Yeah, you are, because he didn't mean it. But I respect your opinion, and I'll say no more about it now. There's no way in Dombele meant that. I'm not having it.
My screen's refreshed, and I'm now at 2-1. I've still missed the goals, but it's 2-1 now.
They're both shit, Dale. You didn't miss anything, mate. Where are you, lad? Well, I'm on 51-40 now.
Yeah, 46.
Well, this has turned into a fantastic game of football now, and both teams just look frantic. It's like the first 5 minutes of the game again, just frantic. Both trying to get on the ascendancy now. Oh, look, another player down. Thiago's involved.
Thiago on the floor.
Oh,
Yeah, it does actually look bad.
And this is the thing, it's been a big story in the media at the moment. Oh God, is that 3 of them?
Yeah.
Ooh.
And Dombele as well.
Ooh.
It's been in the media at the moment about these concussion substitutions. What's the hold up? We should be bringing them in. You can't tell me that it's safe for Rodon and Thiago to continue now. Immediately. And if we've got these concussion substitutions, I just think it's a no-brainer in terms of the safeguarding of the players. It's an absolute no-brainer.
I mean, I'll be honest, I'm really glad that they started bringing in that concussion substitution rule. I think it's been a long time coming. But it's a weird one. Like, where do you draw on the precaution with it on whether a player thinks he's fit enough, whether the physio thinks he's fit enough? I mean, a physio can only do so many tests. A player knows in himself whether he's ready to go or not. But we know as athletes that you're never ever going to take yourself off.
No. I think I heard the other day that it takes 12 minutes to do a full check on a concussion, on whether a player is concussed or not, like an external check, which for me, it's better than what we've got at the moment, because all we've got at the moment is, are you all right? Like, what's your name? What day of the week is it? Can you see my finger doing that and that? And that's pretty much it. If we've got 3 concussion substitutes, it's not like you could say that players are leaning. Like, we've got VAR if you're going to be that sort of over the top about it, and you can see if players have hurt their heads or not. And for the safeguarding of the players, I really do just think it's the best way to move forward with the game. You can't have players who've potentially got concussions playing on. It's dangerous. It's dangerous for them. And you're seeing it now, like all these class action lawsuits and stuff, and sports people getting signs of dementia in the 30s and 40s. Not to be all deep and stuff on a live watch along. We're supposed to be having fun here, and we'll move along in a second. But a no-brainer for me. I think the sooner it gets brought in, the better. I've upset Danny there. He's disappeared.
He's had enough.
He heard me mention concussions again. He was like, fell asleep.
It's definitely livened up this now, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%.
Miles better.
Thiago with a massive bandage around his head. Good ball out to the left there. Exactly like you said before, fullback's trying to push up and it leaves spaces in behind.
Yeah.
The problem is, though, Son can't be in both positions. So if you're going to whack it out wide to the left, he can't be there and be in the box on the shoulders of those back two. You can't do it all himself. So who else is there?
That's it. Now he's took Kane off. You know, Son will be there more predominantly down the middle, I assume.
In Salah, 3-1.
Hang on. 10 seconds behind.
And that is clinical.
Oh, here we go.
And this is the danger. This is the danger with Spurs.
That's it.
Got to push up, got to chase the game. They've done well to get that Højbjerg goal, get him back in within touching distance, but you take your chance. Once you go 1-0, 2-0 down, you take your chances. For me, again, poor from Lloris. Could he have done better with that? Maybe not. I mean, maybe give him the benefit of doubt.
Have you seen Danny's message?
What's he saying?
Let him back in.
Mate, I had to mute and turn the camera off to stop everyone hearing my horrific coughing fit. That is not what people want to be listening to.
Oh!
They're looking for handball here, was it?
They're looking for a handball on Firmino. Interesting, and it does look like he controlled it with his arm.
Nice finish, like. But
He knocks it back into his
handball. It's handball that all day.
Yeah, you can't not give that. He's off to the screen. That normally means one thing.
Yeah, you can't not disallow that. I mean, Firmino could make the argument that Dyer's all over him, but it's such a... Do you know what? It makes me laugh, this VAR screen. It's just so, stupid, isn't it? Just plonked in the middle of the park.
I've always thought that. It's so randomly placed.
It's not even like it's a decent TV. It's like a 28-inch. It's like a box TV I had in my house 20 years ago.
And it's given. Handball.
Yeah, you can't let him get away with that.
No, it's one of them. It's a difficult one, that one, because he's pretty much wrestling with Eric Dyer there.
Mm.
You know, your arms are going to be sort of all over the place there. I mean, it's a tough one, that one, but
he's tried to get himself free, hasn't he? And you can't help it. Your hands at the ball, and unfortunately,
you're spending your time trying to, fight off the defender, try and get yourself free. You're not concentrating on where your arms are, just trying to get yourself free, and that yard or that touch.
Unfortunately for him, though,
I don't know what the rules are in the games anymore. To be honest,
I don't think anyone does. No. He's changed the direction of the ball
deliberately.
I don't even think that matters anymore.
Yeah.
That's the problem. Define deliberate anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I was talking about this with someone the other day. There needs to be, and we've said this before about the amount of rule changes there are, but there needs to be a fork ton of rule changes at the end of this season. The fact that they've had to go back and change the offside rule after the City game.
I can't believe that, mate. I mean, that is, what are we doing?
Disgraceful. Genuinely disgraceful. That could have got Villa a point.
It's just an absolute joke. And the thing is with Villa as well, like it's how hard their fans are kicking off about it.
Yeah.
You have absolutely no room to be kicking off with anyone about fucking decisions going one way or another after your antics against Sheffield United last season.
But also, that wasn't like I can defend Villa there because that wasn't them. That was the refereeing team's negligence of just not turning on fucking Hawkeye
For the first game back after the interruption we had with COVID and stuff.
I know.
The first game back live on telly.
Just an absolute joke. Like, the one time it's ever gone wrong, ever. Well, Bale and Mora are warming up on the sidelines now, so Mourinho is pretty good, to be fair, with the way that he will change things. He's not afraid of changing things and changing things quick if they're not going his way.
What's Spurs' record at home this season? Does anyone know? Are they like us, kind of, you know?
Oh, look now.
Let's have a look.
I don't recall them having that great of a record at home, to be honest.
Last time they were at home, they drew against Fulham.
So no.
Leeds,
No, they're not.
lost against Leicester. Beat Arsenal. Beat City. Beat Brighton. Yeah, they're all right.
Spurs they're a little bit like us. They're a lot better away.
Mm.
Well, you see, they're a counter-attacking team.
Yeah.
He
You
sets
can't
them up,
counter-attacking team, though, and that's the problem, because Liverpool are also a counter-attacking team. It just doesn't
Well,
work. Yeah, it seems to have died down a bit again.
It's gone a bit. It happened this in the first half. It just went flat a long time, and then all of a sudden buzzed into life just before the end of the half. But it can't stay like this. It's not going to suit Spurs. They've got to push now, and I do think it's going to be a couple of minutes until Mourinho goes and says enough's enough. But I'm surprised he's gone with. I'm surprised he's gone with Lamela, like we said before. I think that's a bit of an odd substitution, taking Kane off, because Lamela is not an out-and-out striker.
No. And he puts Son into that position where, yes, he's good, but that's still not his position. He needs to be out wide for me, Son.
Yeah.
Tell you they miss him. Reguilon.
Yeah, he makes their left side a lot more secure defensively, but gives them a lot more options going forward as well.
Yeah. Ben Davies just isn't it anymore. Not that he ever was it anyway.
I know, it was a bit of an odd signing, wasn't it?
Talking of odd signings, while the game's lulled a bit, today's, which tells you how boring the January transfer window is, today's massive transfer news is Jesse Lingard on his way to West Ham United.
I thought I went in then. I saw the net rock and I thought I went in. I thought, how's he got it in from there for me, at the side now? Why would you
the way West Ham are playing, does he even get in the 11? Is he going to be sitting on the bench?
I was saying that to Gav today, that I don't think he gets in there at the moment.
No, I don't. I just don't think it's a better move for him, to be honest. I mean, I know it's on loan, but you could argue. I mean, with the way they're playing at the moment, who does he replace?
He doesn't.
That starting 11.
He doesn't go into. Oh, that is 3-1 again.
I'm behind, mate. Mate.
Let's see if it stands this time. It looks poor defending from what I've just seen. And Sadio Mane finally getting on the score sheet again.
Oh, must be a good minute behind here, me.
That is an outstanding cross. Trent Alexander-Arnold's whipped it in from about. He must have whipped that 45, 50 yards, and Rodon's just missed it completely. And Mane just absolutely. That's a brilliant goal.
There we go. Yeah,
a goal. That
it's just about to happen now, I think. Oh, you can't let the ball bounce there.
No,
Can he? That defender? No.
no.
That's criminal. That you can't let the ball bounce there.
I think I'd take my defender actually handballing it there. Like give away a penalty and give your keeper a chance at the penalty.
Or is he just a bit reluctant to sort of swing and, skew with it? Possibly.
I think
he's facing the wrong. He's facing towards his own goal, and it's one of them. It's.
He could try to sweep it out for a corner, but if he gets it wrong and nets it in his own net.
Yeah. But you just cannot let the ball bounce there.
No. A young lad though, isn't he? It's a lad that came from Swansea, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, young lad, still inexperienced. He'll learn from that. That's a lovely turn in Dombele.
Yeah. It's a good finish first time, though.
That's a great finish, yeah. That's not a finish of a striker that's lacking in confidence or form to say how poor he's been this season.
Yeah.
But then again, has he been poor, or are we judging him on, like we do with Messi and Ronaldo, judging them on them previous selves?
Again, they've set the bar, haven't they? The whole team set the bar, to such a level.
Yeah. Oh, God, yeah.
The slight sort of dip in form, and it's like, well, have they burnt out? Is the game's catching up with them? Is it the injuries for the rest of the team? Is that having an effect on sort of team chemistry, all that sort of stuff? But
yeah, I think
I do. I like to say I do think in general, most of the team has been, it's not been at the same level.
Yeah, no, you're right. But I think I actually think that this game is probably the way it's planned out. Anyway, this has been the perfect game for Liverpool tonight, because I think Spurs have played right into the one hand, sitting deep, allowing them to attack. You allow a team like Liverpool to attack you for so long, they're going to break you down. I know. What do you think about that goal there, Chris?
Inevitable. It was just inevitable on it. Like you just said. What I was thinking for, which is we've seen where Liverpool have struggled recently, and it's teams that have sussed them out. Like you can't just play into their hands, which is sitting back and expecting to counter them. They're just not going to have it, and they've got the quality on the pitch where they're just going to be like, we've seen this before a million times. Nah, you're not having it. Spurs don't have the players either. They don't have the quality to do that. I don't think.
No, I agree.
They've got Son. Apart from that, who have they got? Attacking wise, world class in their ranks who can allow them to play like that against a team like Liverpool. It's interesting now because what does Mourinho do? Does he accept this result for what it is with 20 minutes left and start taking players off and resting, or does he think, sod it, I'm going to go gung-go, stick one of my attacking players on, probably Lucas Moura, and just go for it and see what happens? Because I don't even think...
He's only got one sub left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's wasted a sub with Lamela.
Yeah, I agree.
We said Vinicius, but I think Moura would have been the better person to bring on, and you stick Son up top, and then you put Moura, but more in the role that Sonny was doing first half.
No, I would have kept Son on the left. I would have brought that the striker on.
You would have put Moura up top,
Straight swap.
Yeah. I mean, either or is a good option, but Lamela, he's just not done anything. Has Lamela ever had a good game for Spurs? I think he's had one good game for Spurs years ago against United. You know when they beat us 3-0 and Martin Tyler went mad?
Yeah.
That was horrible. That Lamela. I've not switched off many United games in my years as a fan, but that TV, the remote nearly went through it when Martin Tyler did that. It's like, fuck off. Oh, Firmino, just letting him run through. Thiago, he's at a pigeon in the North Stand. Terrible. Clearly concussed. Should have took him off. 100% should have took him off. Now you got. Are you on the same bit as me? You seeing the match stats on the screen? Attempt on goal.
I think I've just gone past it already.
14 Liverpool have had to 3 for Spurs. Tells you everything you need to know.
This game is absolutely perfectly into Liverpool's hands. Liverpool have been the Spurs have been very happy just to sit back, and it's caused a problem.
They missed a golden opportunity here. I don't think Spurs would have had many better opportunities to beat Liverpool, and they've just gone the wrong way about it.
Yeah, I genuinely think now that this game is dead and buried.
Yeah,
Liverpool are going to see this out very well.
100%.
3-1 down, still no sign of a third sub being made by Jose. I think that's even him admitting defeat there.
I'm shocked at Jose. I thought he would have tried to change things up. I am shocked.
I am actually. I didn't think he would be one to admit defeat. Because you're not telling me he's looking at the team of players that are on right now thinking that they can do a job here. Because they absolutely can't.
And Kane as well. I didn't see the injury first half. Did you see what happened to him in terms of injury?
I didn't catch it, and they didn't really show many replays of it.
I'm wondering. I'm going to have a look now because I'm wondering what's happened there, and I'm hoping it's not. Well, I say hoping. I don't really care because I'm not a Spurs fan, obviously, but I'm hoping it's not anything serious in terms of England, like like a hamstring or something troubling.
Well, this is what derailed them last season, wasn't it? Was the Kane injury.
And the rest, mate. That documentary.
Fantastic watch.
That was it. What a doc that was. There's so many other... I mean, there's one out about City in there, but I'm not interested because I bet that's just boring, isn't it?
It's not, I've watched a lot of it. It's really good.
The thing is, I like a bit of... I like a bit of what you saw in the Spurs one, which is a little bit of animosity between players and a little bit of drama and whatnot. Yeah, not really any drama at City, is there?
No, the Spurs one was like the best one I've watched.
Do you know, Leeds would be good, wouldn't it?
Oh, Leeds want to be fantastic.
Leeds would be class, I think.
Stemming back from back in the Championship to then bottling the playoffs. Bielsa spying on Derby and then getting promoted.
That'd be absolutely fucking class. I'd love it. Dale says, let man in. I've not even seen him come up. Dale, if you can hear us, can't even see you. So you're not coming in and see you make an appearance, lad. No, I can't see it. I've been trying to read up. I can't see anything about Kane. I don't know what's gone on there. The legend returns. Saying Dale, before, did you catch why Kane went off in terms of the injury?
No, I still have the thing on mute, didn't I? So I missed that. No,
this is the mystery. We don't know why Kane.
It's got to be that knock he took in it.
I just don't know what happened in terms of or not. Or was it hamstring? Did a calf in? What was it?
Yeah.
Because if that's a long-term thing, even if that's 3-4 weeks, say bye to Spurs getting Champions League, it's not happening.
Say goodbye to Spurs getting Champions League anyway.
They're just not good enough.
I was just about to say it. This is a bit of a damaging defeat. At home, 3-1 down against a team that's going to be sort of there or thereabouts in the Champions League spots as well. And you look at the teams that are around them. You've got Leicester playing well. Everton are doing well. You've even got West Ham next. Near them as well, which
madness that West Ham in the Champions League
slow. I mean, I don't even say Arsenal, but they seem to be slowly creeping up that table. I don't know how, but
don't say that. We're playing them on Saturday, mate.
Yeah.
Don't say that. Don't be saying stuff like that to me. It's interesting, isn't it? Because if you would have said to Spurs fans at the start of the season, Arsenal and Chelsea are going to be awful this season and they're going to be barely 10th, they must have been thinking, absolutely sound that. Like, fucking hell. That's Champions League for us, definitely then, because who else is going to challenge? But it's been such a weird season. Like, Everton are there, West Ham are there, Southampton have been doing well. And Spurs are still nowhere near.
Still there until last night. I think last night's loss was a shock. And a big, it was a damager for him, that.
I just don't know. We weren't expecting us to be challenging for the title anyway.
No, I don't think anyone was expecting anything, really. This season has genuinely been mental.
Yeah. Good defending that by Dyer for once tonight. Nicking it off Salah.
Got to look at Thiago as he's coming off. He looks spaced out.
Should have took him off. I mean, I just don't think he's necessary anymore in this game. I don't think he's done much to influence things anyway.
Don't worry, there'll still be a passing compilation on YouTube later. And
will I be sitting in bed watching Thiago passing compilation tonight? Absolutely. I look forward to that coming out later.
What was the League Cup game which he came on for about? Was it Chelsea won it when he came on? Oh my word, the forgotten man is coming on.
Stop it.
What a weird season. Wasn't wanted in Madrid. Come to Spurs. Clearly not wanted here still.
I know that clip came out of Mourinho telling him, do you want to go back to Madrid and sit on the bench?
Yeah, or you can... I mean, to be honest, I'd take that because better than sitting in fucking London on the bench.
We were talking about him before, weren't we, Dale? Like, he's clearly so talented, but at this stage of his career, like, what is it? Is it he's lost a step, or is it the fact that he just can't be asked, or...
Don't know, do you? Like, we spoke about Van der Beek on the podcast the other day about how he just didn't look good against Liverpool.
No.
And Josh made a very good point about match sharpness. Could be the same for Bale. When was his last run of games? 3 seasons ago?
Yeah. But in a league, it's a results-based business. When a Spurs going to get a run of games where they can risk letting Bale have 3 or 4 or 5 games on the bounce, like, they just can't risk it.
Isn't it actually mental that you've just said that playing Gareth Bale, once the most expensive player in the world, is a risk?
But he is, on his current form, he is. And I said it before, I thought he looked, albeit it's Wickham, but I thought he looked bright against Wickham. I thought he did a lot of things well. His finishing was wasteful, but he got them back into the game at the end of the day, scored the equaliser for him, and nicked the ball, and that is just a waste. You've got 10 minutes on the clock, and you've got to be picking a better pass than that. I'd be fuming if I was Jose right now.
Yeah, I would be and all.
You nick the ball off Liverpool, back 4, in the penalty area. You've got to be... It was just panicked. It was rushed. Like, what was he even doing? There wasn't even anyone there.
Mad. Right. I'm afraid, boys, this is where my journey with you boys ends for the evening.
Danny is off. So for everyone who's joined us for the live stream tonight, thank you very much, Danny. Always the one who brings the class to proceedings.
It's not often that's said about me. Quick plug for myself. If you've liked what you've heard here, or you fancy probably a show with a bit more professionalism, and they've actually got moving slides and stuff, I will be on Two Up Top on the weekend. Gavin, the boys will be having graciously invited me on. We'll be covering the Man United and Arsenal game, which I say I'm looking forward to it, but ask me again when it turns up. But I'll be having plenty of beers and we'll be chatting a load of shit, so it'll be a good laugh. So you can find that on Two Up Top, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. The bleeding works. And I look forward to watching this as I get myself ready for bed. So take care, boys. Have a good evening.
Man's got a proper job. He's got to go. Take care, Danny. See you later, mate.
See you later, boys.
See you later, mate.
And then there was two. Yeah, I'll plug all that again for anyone who might have missed that. Danny, our resident Danny Hamlet, handsome bastard on the podcast. He will be on Two Up Top Football this Saturday. You can catch them on all social media. As they like to say on their podcast, do you know, if you Google Two Up Top, they are the first thing that comes up. So give them a Google, follow them on YouTube, catch Danny this Saturday. He will be doing a live watch along with them for the Man United Arsenal game, which I am cacking my pants at because it is now must win for us after last night. Just like this was a must win for
we better add. Yeah. I mean, going back to last night's result, does this do anything for Sheffield United's relegation sort of survival battle?
It's an
interesting. Is there enough
one
there to claw that that gap that is there? Do they have more results like that in them to do potentially what was it? Was it Leicester? The year before they won the title, where they did sort of like the Great Escape, sort of something on the sort of similar profile to that.
I mean, I'm looking at the Premier League table now, and Sheffield United have got 8 points, which is it's just disastrous, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not great, is it?
West Brom aren't doing much better than they are, and to be honest with you, I think West Brom haven't had a lot of focus on them just because of how poor Sheffield United have been in terms of results. Fulham are on 13, so they're within touching distance, but 17th place.
There's a gap there, isn't there? Yeah.
Yeah, it's 10 points. And do you know, if there's a club that's going to get sucked to trouble, it's going to be Newcastle.
I was going to say, yeah, Newcastle look really poor at the minute.
19 points.
I think they've shown it. I think they've shown a bit more against. Was it Leeds midweek?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, they still lost the game. I think that's 10 in all comps now. They haven't won. The goal difference is not particularly any. It's not any better really than, say, I think West Brom's who was second bottom. I'm just struggling to see where they're going to pick up another win, possibly. But
I mean, it's going to be the 5. It's 3 out of the 5, isn't it? So the Sheffield United, there's West Brom, there's Fulham, there's Brighton, there's Newcastle. Brighton don't look like a team who are going to go down to me. They don't.
The thing with Brighton, if they've drawn a lot of games. All they need to do really is just convert a few of them into wins, and I think they'll be all right. They just seem to be drawing a lot of games at the minute, which every point counts. But
good
they've
point.
Been unlucky not to get a couple more wins out of them.
Well, I'm looking at Sheffield United's fixtures here. So
see, look there. You see it there. Everton v Newcastle is the next game for Newcastle.
No, they're not getting a result.
Struggling to see them pick up anything out of that.
Yeah, Sheffield United got City this weekend, so you can guarantee the performed out the skin against us. They're going to get beat 7-0 by City. But the interesting thing about Sheffield United is After that, it's West Brom at Bramall Lane, which is a 6-pointer.
Yep.
That's an absolute 6-pointer. Chelsea at home, which I'm sorry, Chelsea at the moment at home is a winnable game, I think, for Sheffield United. They should at least be thinking about getting a point in that game for me.
Yeah.
West Ham away, which is tough. West Ham have been unbelievable this season, but then you've got Fulham away. They're the two teams in the extreme vicinity of them. In a world where Sheffield United get a point against Chelsea and they beat Fulham and they beat West Brom, that puts them on 15, and all of a sudden the landscape looks entirely different. Do I think you can do it? Yeah, I do. Unbelievably, but they've got to get 7 points, I think, out of the next 4 games, at the very least. If they don't get that,
yeah.
I mean, what do you think it's possible? Do you think they can actually do it?
I think it might be a couple games too late. I think.
There's just a couple of games we've seen, aren't there, where they've not been battered, Sheffield United, but there's just a couple of games we've seen where we thought that was the game that you needed to get a goal there.
What I just said before about Brighton, they've drawn a lot of games. Sheffield United could have done the same, but they've ended up losing them 1-0, or those sort of score lines. Could be in a completely different position. Pitch up a few more of them, but I don't know. I just think the gap is just slightly too big at the minute.
Fine margins. In the best league in the world, mate, fine margins.
Mm.
Oh, Liverpool are taking the piss now.
I mean, what is the difference between them and what is it, Brighton? Is it
10 points?
Is it 11 points? Was it 10 points?
10 points, yeah. I mean, Brighton are on 18, but it's shocking to me because Brighton. Look, when we faced them early on, I know it was early on the season, but Brighton played us off the park. We should not have won that game. We should. I don't think I've ever seen a United performance where I've been so relieved that we've got a result, and especially the way it happened with the penalty after full time. I don't think that's ever going to happen again in the history of the sport. Do you know what I mean? We've had a few like that season. Fine margins. United, we've had a few. That's why we're technically in a title race, because those games that we would have drawn or we would have lost last season, we now seem to be sneaking goals. Wolves, big example. Rashford last minute.
Yeah, but you just got to start actually scoring first for once. There's only so many times you can, fall behind in games and keep coming back and winning them. It will catch up at some point. And last night was one of those games. It was.
We were pissed poor, mate.
Where they are in the league, you shouldn't really be getting beat.
No,
but
not at all.
But I don't know. But there was just something in the back of my mind yesterday. Something was just like it might not be as straightforward as that.
He was just digging at you. He was just like, this,
yeah.
I've got a feeling this is not going to go to plan this tonight.
As well as we was doing, something was just
I don't understand, mate. We had a strong team out. That team was strong enough to get a result last night. I don't understand.
Yeah. I say, this game's got a bit naff now on it.
Yeah.
It's done and dusted. It's just...
Bit of a sniff there for Son, but I just... Listen, we said it before. Spurs have just... They've not gone about this the right way. And if there's a time to play Liverpool, this is the time. And they've just not gone at them like... They treat them with too much respect. And this could be a big win for Liverpool, because the quality's still there. The problem with Liverpool is, I know they've got injuries, and I know they've had a couple of players that moved to different positions. We said all this like throughout the live stream tonight, but when you've got 4, 5, 6 players, big key players in your team, and they're all out of form at the same time, it's almost unheard of. Like, one or two of them might be sort of dipping or a bit tired, or maybe carrying an injury or two or something. But for 5 or 6 players all at the same time, and the front three especially, like all of them just completely dropped off a cliff in terms of form. And all it takes is one game to turn it around. And Spurs pushing up the table, pushing for European places, to go to London, pick up 3 points, and it's been comfortable like it has been tonight. Bag a few goals. This could be the catalyst for Liverpool picking up form again.
Yeah. I mean, I think we were saying that Trent's form's not obviously been sort of the same as what it was last season, and similar to Robertson, but he's just whipped out a goal and a belter of an assist to pretty much seal the game for Liverpool there. And it's like you just said then, 5 or 6 players are out of form, but it only takes 10 minutes or so, like it just done today, to put a game to bed. And
exactly,
you're talking right, and Liverpool back on track now.
It's going to be interesting. I mean, Liverpool have got. Let's look at Liverpool's fixtures now. Liverpool, their next game is against West Ham, and that's away.
And they've got City soon as well.
Oh, you know what? I'm looking at Liverpool's run here, mate. So they got West Ham Sunday.
Yeah.
They got Brighton Wednesday. They've got City at Anfield the next Sunday. Then they're away to Leicester.
Ooh.
Then they've got Leipzig. And then they've got the derby. I mean, that is a tough run, that. That's a tough run,
That's hanging, that, innit? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they've got a couple of what you would call Chelsea, Arsenal, Villa, Leeds.
I mean, he could have thrown this game in it as well to start that run off. Spurs away with the way they were playing. It was like, plus obviously the fixtures to come as well. But
it's a Spurs thing to do. Spurs playing well, like decent form. You're thinking Liverpool injuries, Son and Kane up front. They're having to play Henderson and Fabinho at times at the back. Oh, it's going to be piss easy this for Spurs, and they go and bottle it. Too much respect. A little bit like, this is why I was so frustrated with us against Liverpool at Anfield, because it was a game of fine margins, and there was an awful lot of respect being shown between both teams. And Liverpool had long spells where they had the ball. There's no question about that. And they were always going to be the team with the most possession. And it's always a hard ask for anyone to go to Anfield and pick up points, unless they're Burnley. But we had to take those chances we had. And if we take those chances and we put a little bit more impetus in and went on the front foot just a little bit more, maybe just a bit more positive in terms of the team selection, or I don't know. You said it on the podcast after. It just felt like 2 points dropped when really before the game you'd be buzzing with a point at Anfield.
Yeah, I mean, especially with those chances in the second half.
Big, weren't they?
You just nailed one of them. But yeah, sort of disappointing in a way.
The Bruno one was the fucking one. The Bruno one was, and the Pogba one rather. The Pogba one was the worst. Oh, nice football here from Spurs. Too little, too late, and snuffed out. Oh, what is Gareth Bale doing there? bizarre. I don't even know what position Bale's been playing since he come on. He seems to be on the right, and he's kind of like drifted in centre sometimes. I don't know if they put him on to cut in on that left.
You want. We're getting beat 3-1. Just play anywhere and just try and make something happen.
We need some social media likes. Do you want to come on for the last 20 minutes? You know, overhead kick he scored against Liverpool once. Is there any chance you could do anything like that, please? But instead of Marcello, we've got Lamela bunging it into you in the box. That is it, mate. I don't know how far behind or in front of me.
No, it's just done.
3-1. We won't wax on too much about this, but let's just summarise quickly what we've seen. Fast start. Son put the ball in the back of the net, offside. Went quiet for a long, long time. That goal before our time was a massive moment in the game for Firmino. Poor defending from Spurs. They tried to get themselves back into it. They were poor. Just poor defending either side of the half. It's cost them, hasn't it?
Yeah. Just think Spurs have just done a Spurs as well, I think. But no, yeah, you're right. I mean,
I love how I can say something for 10 minutes and then you just come along and say something in a sentence and it's just so much better put than anything I could ever say.
No, but you're right. That goal just before half time is it's just one of them rules in football. You just don't concede at those sort of times. Just before the break, you want to get into half time as you are. But like I say, the first half was sort of few and far between with the clear cut chances, and one's appeared and the ball's in the back of net, and it's a different team talk at half time, innit?
It just poor defending. I think Mourinho is going to be at 1-0 at half time. It's not the end of the world. The timing of the goal, there's never a good time to concede, but the timing of the goal wasn't ideal at all. But Mourinho, you just know he's sat there at half time. And we've seen his team talks before because of the documentary and all the rest of it. And he said, don't be sloppy. Don't concede another goal. Please, for fuck's sake, don't concede another goal. 2 minutes later, 2-0.
2 minutes in.
And Højbjerg, great strike. But that's a goal that you don't see very often in the Premier League. That's a goal where a player's just had a moment of magic. Apart from that, I didn't see Spurs scoring tonight. I think they were really positive first 5 minutes of the game when they were unlucky with that offside. And aside from that, they've just not really done anything. They've not been aggressive enough for me. They've not gone after a Liverpool side that's hurting at the moment on a run of poor form, not won a Premier League game since December. We've said it a few times during the live stream. This is the opportunity where you've really got to go at them. This is your time to go at a Liverpool team that's bang out of form, and you've just allowed Liverpool to play to the strengths tonight, I think.
No, spot on, mate. Like I say, there was an opportunity there, I think, for Spurs, but they just not turned up, really, have they? For whatever reason, they've other than the Højbjerg goal, did you really see them sort of scoring another one? It didn't look likely, but fair play to Liverpool. They seem to have just come out of that little rut that they've just been in for the last 5 or 6 games. They've managed to, get 3 goals away from home as well. Is that now a possible sort of turning point again? Sort of kickstart the season again, but sort of try and push on a little bit now, and if they've got title ambitions, if they've got title ambitions again, this could be the result that does that. But let's say you mentioned the run of games they've got coming up as well. It's going to be a bit of a tough period for them. But.
Yeah, it's tough. We're going to know for certain on Sunday if they can turn up to West Ham and they can get a result there. We'll see. Tough game, that West Ham. I mean, they've actually knocked. Look at the table now. We'll have a look at the table just before we dash off and call it a night. But they've leapfrogged West Ham into top 4 now. So Liverpool 37, play 1 game more than City, who were on 41. So City win their game in hand, they're back 7 points clear again. So it was a must-win for Liverpool tonight in terms of staying in the title race. Put some 3 points behind us after we got beat last night unexpectedly. 2 points behind Leicester. So the proof's in the pudding. If they go to West Ham, that's the big game for them now. You know, you've got a positive result tonight against a Spurs team that have allowed you to play football. West Ham are going to be a little bit more tricky, I think. I think West Ham are going to have a lot more of a go. Especially at the moment, West Ham are looking great. With Antonio back as well, they're looking like a great side and well worth their European spot.
High on confidence at the minute, aren't they? Like I say, they're playing really well at the minute.
Souček, Rice might be the best midfield pairing in the Premier League at the moment.
I tell you what a signing that Souček has been. Yeah, I think he's got like seven or 8 Premier League goals this season already. He's been fantastic. And like I say, the return of Antonio as well. He's grabbed a few goals since his return, and 2 key players there for them.
He's a nuisance.
I think Cresswell at the back as well. I think he's having quite a decent season. As well, and like I say, and Rice, Declan Rice is doing well in midfield. So yeah, I think they surprised me anyway. I mean, I didn't expect them to be doing as well as they are. I must admit at the start of the season, but you know, I'm all for it. It's a new team sort of up there challenging.
It makes it interesting.
It's interesting, exactly. So.
It makes it interesting. Do I think West Ham are going to be there or thereabouts at the end of the season? No, I don't. Do I think they'll do well to get top 6? Yeah, I think that's ideally the target for them. The problem they're going to have is you need to avoid a tail off in form, because we know for a fact that Arsenal and Chelsea have got the quality to pick up results between now and the end of the season. They've had poor seasons so far. They're probably going to have a much, much better second half of the season, both those teams. Spurs aren't always going to be Spursy, like you just put so eloquently a minute ago. In terms of title race for Spurs, though, I think they're out. 33 points they're on now. City are on 41. They're 8 points behind. They're on equal number of games. I don't think they're making that gap up. I really don't. Spurs strike me as a sort of team that will carry on picking up results here and there, but they're not only inconsistent against the top 6, they're inconsistent against teams that they should be beating as well. Fulham drop points, Crystal Palace drop points, Newcastle drop points. They're the sorts of games, if you want to be challenging for Champions League, you've got to be winning those. And I don't know what do you think? Like, do you think Mourinho? Do you think it's Mourinho? Do you think it's his tactics? Do you think he's just being a dinosaur about it, or do you think he's right when he starts blaming the players and saying, well, no, I'm giving them the instructions and I'm giving them the information, the knowledge and the know-how and the tactical acumen to go out there and perform what I want from them. And they're just having lapses in concentration at vital times.
It's a funny one because, you know, the start of the season, they looked really, they stuffed us, you know, the first 10, 12 games, the top of the league. And you're thinking, you know, could Spurs be, you know, genuine out and out, you know, title contenders? And ever since that sort of title has sort of been mentioned, it's kind of just gone downhill slightly. I don't know whether they just thought, oh, shit, this is a bit of an unknown position. We shouldn't really be here, you know, and it's kind of just sort of tapered off a bit. But then again, I think the league is now starting to sort of balance itself out as well, by the odd sort of team, but like I say, your Arsenal's now starting to show a bit of form. You know, City they started poor, have worked the way back up to the top. We sort of started poor. You know, we've sort of got ourselves back up there as well. Yeah. A few teams are still, you know, maintaining the level, like Everton and Leicester are still up there. But I'd look at Spurs' team and it's like, did they look any greater than any of the teams that are sort of around them? It's, you know, if you take Kane out as a backup striker, is he sort of up to the job?
No.
You know, you take Son out, is Bale coming in and doing a job? You know, where I think Danny said it before, is it Reguilon at left back? He's missing. Does Ben Davies come in and sort of do a job? Have they really got the depth when they have got the injuries to sort of, step in and carry on getting these sort of results. But don't think they have. And maybe fourth is probably as high as they might need to be looking.
Yeah.
Fourth, fifth, sixth, that sort of area.
The way Leicester are playing the season, I don't think they're going to be the ones to drop out. So something's got to give, and I don't think Spurs are going to be anywhere close, to be honest. I think sixth if they're lucky, which is what they got last season. And I think you made a really good point there as well about the table starting to balance itself out, because when you look at the other teams who aren't West Ham, the likes of your Everton's, last night, Everton have been great all season. I won't say too much here because I don't want to upset our resident Toffee Josh, but Everton were nowhere near the top six last season, and they have without a doubt progressed with the signings they've made. They've obviously got Carlo at the helm, which is a huge plus. He's one of the best managers in Europe. Can they keep up the form? Tough game against Leicester last night, but they're the sorts of games where if you want a European spot, you've got to win them, and they should have won that last night, really, because even though Leicester were the better team, I thought, mistakes like the one Pickford made, just really, really avoidable. And with Vardy out the side, Leicester weren't scoring. If that didn't go in, it was a something and nothing chance. Villa losing to Burnley, snatching defeat from the jaws of victory, 2-1 up, losing to Burnley. Are they starting to show where they should be in the table now? They're slipping down. Southampton have had a little bit of poor form recently. They've tailed off a bit. I think you're right. I think for such a crazy season, first half of the season, to be within touching distance of the top four is good for the teams up there. I think it's a good sign for City that they're top. I don't think they're going to be budged from the top of the table now for the rest of the season. I think Liverpool is important for them to grab that win tonight. I think I was amazed, we all were, weren't we, that we were top of the table all for the first time in God knows how many years. But I think the fact that we've done as well as we have the first half the season, I think second place in the league for us this season will be a massive improvement. So if we can get some form going and avoid results last night, that'd be good for us. We'll just see where it goes from there, eh? Big game on Saturday. Arsenal Saturday. West Ham on Sunday for Liverpool. City playing the mighty Sheffield United, unbeaten in one. Danny mate, Dale mate, should we sign off? We will just do Twitter handles and stuff. So, social guys, it's on the screen there, but across social media, we are 4M1T at we are 4M1T. We will try and do another one of these live streams very soon. Thank you for tuning in tonight. If you have tuned in, you've shared the stream and stuff. This is our first of our watch along. We've had glitches, we've had Dale's internet, we've had all sorts of stuff going on, and we've managed to get through it with a little bit of. We've had a good night. It's not been too bad, I don't think.
I think we've done fairly well, mate. To be honest,
first time we've done all right, mate. Internet problems.
Solid performance, eh?
Follow us on social media. Don't forget, Danny is on with the two up top football boys on Saturday with the Arsenal watch along. Make sure you follow them across social media and watch our Danny for the Arsenal game on Saturday. Big game for us, that. And tune into our podcast. Our next episode will be out on Wednesday. We are filming on Monday night. Me and Dale are signing off. Dale, thank you very much for joining us for pre, during, and post-match, mate. Good to see you.
Pleasure as always.
See you later, folks. Signing off.